There's a new Western drama coming to Prime Video Friday, November the 11th. It's a parable on race, power, and a mother's love. And I'm going to fuss at Hugo because he's been scaring the bejesus out of me. This Western is amazing. Today I have Chaske Spencer and award-winning writer and director Hugo Blick. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Very well. Nice to be with you.
Good morning.
Good to be with you guys again. Hugo, you drew me in. You made me a part of it. I could actually smell the prairies, the wolves. I could smell the wood. I was right there in the Western. How did you do this? What's going on in your mind and imagination?
Well, I don't know. I can't answer that very simply because everything is just increment. But all I can say is I've been a lifelong. Clearly, I think if anybody engages with the project, they'll see that whoever made this has been a lifelong fan of the genre. I studied the mid-20th century period, particularly movies, Anthony Mann pictures, George Stevens, loved the whole thing. And the opportunity to make this one was just something I couldn't wait to do.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Chaske, your character, man, I'm gonna say this. You please forgive me, Chaske, because what I'm looking at is Black Adam in the Western. That's what I'm looking at.
That's a first for me.
Chaske, tell me about
I'm
your character.
The Rock Johnson. I that. I'll take
Chaske, yeah, okay. Let's talk about your character and how you got involved with this.
Well, I auditioned for it, and after I got the part, I received all the scripts, and it just was a page turner. And I really fell in love with Eli and Cornelia's relationship. I knew the weight of the role, and I knew the challenge of the role, and I wanted to see if I could do that. And I prepped. I did everything what you're supposed to do as an actor. I got the research from production that gave me a perfect roadmap to where I could go with Eli. And working with Emily Blunt was just so easy. She's just such a wonderful person and a talented actor, and just made my job a lot easier. But trying to find that rhythm of Eli, it was just, I was very fortunate that when we went to filming, we were under the COVID when it first hit. So I had a lot of time to marinate with the character.
From my side, as soon as I saw we turned the camera on Chaske's performance, from day one, it was a little bit like that Steve McQueen anecdote, whereas you kind of get this performance where you go, if you can, the less he stares, the more powerful he seems to become. So we kind of sort of stripped out the dialogues as much as possible so that when he actually does speak, it seems to land that much more, with that much more strength. It's a rare talent to be able to do that. And I was just amazed that Chaske inhabited that kind of level of character in the way that he does. It's quite a performance.
And that's why I compare him to Black Adam. I'm serious. It's just interesting.
I haven't seen Black Adam. I'll tell you what, I'm comparing with Newman or because of my absolute fandom of that genre. And I think, okay, I'm the guy who directed, but I think he's shoulder with those fellas. So I'm pleased.
Hugo, what's even more interesting is the realism with this and how violent the West one. Is that what you found in your research?
Oh, you know what? Realism, I'm not so sure about. I tell you what, it's like a fable. I go with the genre that feels like an elevated. It's a horse opera. It's only the horses don't sing, but it is that elevated space, and it's a journey. It's almost like a Grecian, odyssey, as it were, that our two characters have to go on, and then the obstacles that they hit against have to be within the genre. Pretty steep, and therefore, because it's the genre, there's quite a bit of blood involved.
Chaske, how do you feel about the character you're playing in the violence in this, and what he had to go through?
Oh, I felt that to try to bring his I did a lot of backstory work before I arrived to production, and I had a whole life story I feel about it, and it's a lot of tragedy. And what I love about how Hugo wrote Eli, you see it all. It is the whole history of the Native American plight is within Eli when he talks, when he has a monologue. And I thought that was a real beautiful representation of that. I loved love trying to find that. As much as some roles are very heavy and sometimes very traumatic, those are the best roles to get. And it's trying to find the humanity, and also just trying to find the light for Eli, and that was Cornelia. And so everything was already placed out before, right in front of me. So it wasn't that hard to stay on the road with the character.
It's a hell of a relationship he strikes with Emily's character. And actually, as the performance says, for all the guns and whistles that we're just describing right now, really the story is about the intimacy of a relationship between Emily and Chaske's character. And all I had to do was put a camera there and stay the hell out of the way, because they really found that chemistry. I thought it was a remarkable relationship.
It is very interesting and very dynamic chemistry they have on camera with their characters. I've been speaking with Chaske Spencer and Hugo Blick, and I'm going to highly recommend that you get a chance to see this Western series, limited series, on Prime Video beginning November the 11th. It's called The English. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye now.